Hello and welcome. I'm Diana Kabunda, and joining me today for a very special interview is Angelia McGoldrick. She's a psychotherapist, metaphysician, entrepreneur, and the author of The Child I Left Behind, A Mother's Journey Toward Healing and Forgiveness. She has a real passion for helping and giving back to others, and she's the founder of the #1 counseling center in all of Southwest Virginia, Life and Balance Counseling and Wellness Center. And we're so happy to have you with us today. Thanks for being here, Angelia.
Well, Danette, I appreciate you sharing your show with me today. Thank you very much for having me.
So tell me what inspired you to write your memoir.
Well, Danette, I had been through so much by the time I was 16 years old. I was catapulted out into adulthood at age 9. By the time I was 13 years old, I was pregnant. And shortly thereafter, I was out in the world in a relationship that was very abusive as a young mother at 14. And I only escaped that relationship with my life at 16. It was a difficult journey. And as I found myself out into the world, I realized that if it was going to be, it was up to me. There wasn't anyone coming to rescue me. So I really went to work and worked hard and overcame a lot to become a successful entrepreneur and later a psychotherapist who has a passion for giving back and helping others. And what I know, Danette, is that so many people out there have been through trauma, abuse, and so many tragic situations that has just caused so many wounds within them. And they feel hurt, alone, unheard, and they don't feel like they have a voice. And so I wrote this book for them to let them know that I understand. I've been there and I know how painful it is. And I hope that my words will encourage them and give them hope that they do have a voice and there is a hope for a better future. And I hope that message can get out there to them.
Well, and you're just the person to do it. You carried a really deep wound throughout your life because of that horrible decision you had to make to choose to leave your child behind as a young teen mother. I can't imagine how difficult that was, but what impact did that decision have on the rest of your life?
Well, Danette, it was the most painful and difficult decision that I have ever made. And any mother would feel that way, to make a decision to leave your child behind out of desperation and survival. It impacted everything about my life. As a matter of fact, I carried a deep scarlet letter on my heart of just guilt and shame for that difficult decision and the outcome of it. And, later when my daughter came back into my life, herself wounded because of the difficulties and the struggles that she went through, it was just so painful. And I just felt like it was all my fault. I did everything I could as a mother to try to make up for that and to help us to build a better relationship. But at every turn, I made mistakes and we just butted heads, and it was so difficult. She was so angry and herself wounded. We just triggered one another. And what I learned was that I was trying to give her what I needed as a young girl, which was survival and security. But that's not what she needed at all. She just wanted my time, attention, and love and acceptance. And no matter how hard we tried to work that through, we just continue to create a wedge between us.
What is your relationship with your daughter like now?
Well, well, Danette, it's been a difficult journey, a lot of pain between us, and it certainly has been tumultuous because of the wounds that we carried. We just triggered one another at every turn, and we didn't talk for many years. But I went on this deep healing journey, and what I learned, it wasn't her that needed to be fixed or rescued. It was me that needed rescuing, and to really look within and find the wounds that were within me that were triggering these things. And so once I was able to do my own work in healing, it has made a big difference. And only just recently, in the last few months, we've been able to begin to talk again. And it's just been a much better conversation because all of that wounding isn't there. And it is my hope, Danette, that as we continue to heal and grow, that we can have a healthier relationship and have that closeness that I know that we both have always wanted.
What a powerful message. Any closing words of wisdom that you'd like to share?
Oh my goodness, I've learned so much along the way. And gosh, I have so many things I'd like to share. But there are three things really that I think are really important for your audience. Number one, hurt people even when they don't mean to. When we have wounds inside and we are holding all of that pain and emotion, and something outside of us happens, someone triggers us or says something that upsets us, well, that triggers that little wound inside. And it isn't about them or the situation, it's actually about ourselves, something that's wounded inside that needs our attention. So it's very important that we turn within and look and see what is going on so that we don't spill our wounds onto other people. Number two, I have learned that unforgiveness is a massive weapon that we use upon ourselves that spills poison on us for something that someone else did or for a mistake or behavior that happened when we were ourselves wounded. And what I know is that by finding forgiveness and letting go of those pains of what others have done and the pains of our own past, finding compassion, knowing that we are all wounded, and it just helps us to let go of that pain. It isn't letting the person off the hook because of what they did or giving them a free pass. Jeanette, it's actually giving us a gift of freedom and peace. And it's the best gift that we can give ourselves. And finally, Danette, what I know for sure is that we are divine miracles and that we have this beautiful light within us that oftentimes gets dimmed and we lose connection with ourselves when we are wounded, traumatized, been victimized, or been through some difficulties in life. And we just lose our way. And as an author and a therapist, it is my passion to give back and help others to find that light again. And what is necessary is for us to do exactly what I said, turn within and find that wound. I know it's difficult to face the pain, but that is where we're going to find that light again. And to be able to shine that light so bright and find that peace and freedom that we're looking for. And it's my hope that my book and the words that I share will help those that are struggling and have been through difficulties to let them know they're not alone. They have this beautiful light inside of them, and there is a beautiful future ahead of them.
Ah, thank you so much for sharing all of this. What a great message. To learn more about Angelia, her book, and all of her projects, please visit her website at angeliamcgoldrick.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Danette. You have a wonderful day.